The US Embassy to Kenya has released a statement on what is going on in Kenya. Hello, I am Mahlet, Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing the latest from the continent. Now, this is a breaking news. A few hours ago, the US Embassy in Nairobi has released this statement. It seems that things are going on a different direction for William Ruto. What we have seen a month ago, all that glittering welcome by the US administration now seems taking a different direction. Now, what did US embassy say, or the US government, in other words? This is what it says, the statement. As we enter the fifth week of protests throughout Kenya and surpass 50 protest-related deaths, the Embassy of the United States of America notes with profound regret the loss of life and destruction of people's livelihoods and calls on all actors to remain peaceful and respect the rule of law. We are deeply concerned by reports of violence, including shootings and abductions of protesters, journalists, and others. Constructive engagement of citizens and civil society, aided by a free, independent media, is a pillar of democracy. These are values we share with Kenya and which we must all protect. Now, what you have to note is that the Kenyan Gen Z protest, in which the slogan of it has evolved so much since it started. Latest, what they have is actually U.S. ambassador or the U.S. embassy to leave Kenya, the IMF to leave Kenya, and President Ruto to resign. These are the latest slogans. Now, it's amid this in the past 2-3 days after the slogan changed. Now, the US Embassy is coming and telling us this. Now, the statement continues. I'm going to read it quick. The embassy urges police to exercise restraint and protect the rights of people to demonstrate peacefully. We call on provocators and opportunists to avoid blocking roads and looting businesses. All actors, police and protesters alike, should repudiate violence and be held accountable for wrongdoing. Who is advising? I'm confused, seriously. The statement continues. Okay, as a long-time friend and partner to Kenya, the embassy notes the government's July 18 remarks about addressing public grievances and encourage the governments to continue taking steps forward, including on corruption and accountability, to promote national unity and reconciliation. As both of our countries strive to build stronger democracies that deliver peace and prosperity for our citizens, this is an important moment for all Kenyans to demonstrate the democratic values we share. So you have heard it. That is the statement of the US Embassy. Now, yesterday I came here and I talked about that. This is actually, you cannot play with the imperialists. You cannot play with these neo-colonial powers. A month ago, yeah, it is true. For the past 16 years, we haven't seen such a thing by the US administration. And he was welcomed, like the ceremony was so different, and always the red carpet and everything, the dinner, the party. Now, like a true ally of the US, a major non-NATO ally, all the things. And then, getting also right after that to fight the Houthis on the Red Sea, and then sending the police to Houthis. All these were steps. And then the next step was, because it's not all for free. There's no free lunch, okay? When you submit in to these neo-colonials, either you go all the way in, or you resist and you fight it. That's the way, that's the only way it works. You cannot just be halfway. What happened to Ruto is that now he was not just, he was doing things after not only Kenyans, the whole, I mean, the global Africans were against him. The people were against him for what he was doing, the way he was talking something and then walking another thing, to a different direction. He talks, these sweet talks. We don't, I mean, Bob Marley said, we don't need sweet talks. We had enough. We want leaders with action. Now, these heads of states, and one of it being Kenya, talk this sweet talk of about Pan-Africanism, the African Continental Free Trade Area, visa-free, this and that. But you are all, William Ruto, you are fully in bed with the US-led West. You cannot continue deceiving the people, as simple as that. You can fool some people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. That's my favorite lyrics from Bob Marley's song. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And people, again, another quote from Bob Marley. He's a hungry man is an angry man. On these poor people, you added a price on breads. And that's why they start to revolt. That was the start of it. Of course, now it has evolved into something else. And then you wanted also to put other things, to tax other things, the basic needs of the people, which is the financial bill, where they started as a reject the financial bill protest. You were just doing one thing after the other, one thing after the other. You think just silence is, you just because people are silent, you think you can do things. No, you cannot. Now, when he sees that the same people who have voted for him and brought him to power are going to bring him down, okay, hold on. So the financial bill is now withdrawn. It has been on hold. And then the price on the bread, is cancelled. That's also the victory for the people. But that means now you are going to offend your people over there, the US-led West, including the IMF and World Bank, who advise you for your policy to add those prices. Unless you add those prices, you cannot pay their bill. You cannot pay your debt. To pay their debt, they come and advise you and tell you how you govern. They interfere in your policies. That's what happens. They have been pressuring the Ethiopian government. They want a fund, a loan, but they have been denied because they are told to for the inflation, to increase the exchange rate of against dollar, and that will bring a chaos in the country, and the government knows that. And because of that, a lot of fun have been, many things have been denied. You have to deal, or you deny it, or or you are just fully in. That's the thing. So now this, when they see that, now the financial, meaning the US or this so-called IMF and World Bank, the financial bill is on hold. Okay, they will say, how is he gonna pay us? Because these people, my dear, they suck from the blood and the sweat of the poor people in Africa. They tell you, add the price, remove the subsidy, and then you can pay us. That's how they live, on our poverty, on our days, on our destruction. Are they're capitalizing? Otherwise, they come. I mean, we make them rich. At our expense, they get rich with all that interest. In which US also has a debt. Do you think US has the same interest, loan interest will pay like Kenya? No. Do you think France will pay the same interest like Kenya or Djibouti? No. It's a very, very small amount. So now they have to think, because you cannot pay them if you are holding that, and if you are starting to revise, if you are starting to respond to your people, you are dissolving your cabinet ministers, this and that. Okay, wait, what is he going to do? We also reported here this revolution in Kenya might be hijacked because they don't care. They don't care. It's not about Ruto. As long as anyone who come to serve them, they will work with them. Now they think like, oh, like all of a sudden they are the vanguard of democracy, or they are the vanguard of free speech and demonstration. Look how they write the statement. They are aligning, yeah, kind of with the people. I'm sure the Kenyan people know better, and will continue on their demand, and make sure that at the end the Kenyan people are the beneficiary out of this. That hopefully there is no hijack of this Gen Z protest or demonstration. That it will work out as the end to the best of the people. Now, another thing I want to share with you is that how the colonialists or the neo-colonialists work. I'm going to share. Look, Financial Times has published an article, and this is it's not even 24 hours since it's published. But look now how they are calling Ruto. I'm going to share that and read some of it. They don't care. They really don't care who you are. I mean, if another one comes and promise that head of state will work with them, they're gonna be the one who are collaborating and throwing you. Now, Ruto, a few days ago, he has accused the Ford Foundation, the US-based Ford Foundation, that they are the one who sponsored the Gen Z protests. The Ford Foundation has denied the allegation. So far, he also did not present any evidence, William Ruto. The thing is, for me, it really doesn't matter whether Ford Foundation has sponsored it or not. I really do not care. The thing is, what we have to note is that these people will not leave you alone unless you submit yourself fully, or you start to fight it against. Whether you go and talk to your neighbors or the African Union, you cannot fight. Also, you cannot fight it alone. The same fight might have been, going on somewhere in African countries, but this is not something that Africans can fight it alone. They have to come, with a united voice. They have the biggest, representation seats in the UN. If they say something, they're going to listen to them if it's really a united front. Now, IMF is also talking about a different way of billing this and that. So they will find a way to get this money out of Kenya. And that will be at the expense of the people. Now, you will be really amazed now what Financial Times is calling this man, even the headline. Look, even the headline. Kenya's populist president has misread the popular mood. I mean, it can't get any real than that. But yeah, it's interesting. Let me just read the first parts. In May, William Ruto, Kenya's president, was being feted by the White House at a glittering gala dinner hosted by Joe Biden in the first state visit by an African leader to the US in 16 years. By July, that's after 2 months, the article continues, Washington's favorite dinner guest was facing a popular revolt at home. He fired his cabinet and jettisoned tax-raising legislation after nationwide protests culminated in the storming parliament. Ruto, it continues. It's really, I encourage you to go ahead and read it. Okay, now the article continues. Ruto is not the first leader whose polished international image fails to reflect his sinking domestic reputation, but he is a stark example of the difficulty of reconciling global obligations, which in Kenya's case include servicing a ruinously high debt with domestic political right. Ruto swept to power in 2022 on a populist swell after appealing to the nation's hustlers, those scrabbling a living through their wits and hard work. Now, it continues, but let me see the end paragraph, what it says. If it's interesting, I'm going to read it for you. Look, yeah, I think. For a populist, Ruto's reading of the popular mood has been inept. Having failed to subdue demonstrations through violence and intimidation, he has been forced to capitulate. Now he is venting his wrath on the political class of which he is a part. Henceforth, he has promised it will steal less and perform better. If Ruto manages to deliver on that pledge, he may yet salvage his reputation, both at home and abroad. Oh my God. They have so much, they're demanding so much from this man. They're basically dragging him. Look at what the Financial Times, the most popular, influential magazine is, or online media is calling him. He has misread reconciling what is demanded, the obligation to pay the debt and the mood at home. How is he supposed to pay? What you want him to do? He tried, what IMF demanded him to do, but it didn't end up well. My goodness. So I don't think it's gonna end on this one. Now they're coming out because also he called out the Ford Foundation, the U.S. Ford Foundation, for sponsoring this, and it's the biggest philanthropist, I think, seventh in the world or something, or next to. Next to what? Like it's like the Bill Gates, and there are some few in front of it, but yeah, it's a big one, and the Ford Foundation has been there for more than 60 years. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. The man is, pulled by both sides from abroad. By now, by the the West is turning against him, and then the people at home are demanding him to leave. It's really difficult situation for this man. I don't know what he's going to do, but let us know in the comment section. What do you think his next step? To resign? Do you think resigning is the solution? Speaking of resignation, I'm going to share with you, what now this political opportunists, like the opposition leader, Raila Odinga, is saying. It's interesting. Let me just read it for you. So Raila Odinga dismisses calls for William Ruto's resignation. Megozen Gachagua takes over. Now, Gachagua is the vice president or the deputy president. Now, on July 17, ODM leader Raila Odinga said dialogue is the best route to resolve the current crisis in the country. According to Raila, pushing President William Ruto to resign is not the best solution to the current problems facing the country. Now, the leader warned that forcing the president to resign might come with serious consequences. What is he trying to point at? Now, speaking during ODM party parliamentary group meeting on Wednesday, ODM leader warned that the Ruto must go push might have dire consequences. In court, this is what he says. He pointed out that in Ruto's absence, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will take over the government and continue implementing the bad laws formulated by the Kenya Kwanza administration. Ruto goes, then what? Ruto may go, then Gachagua takes over to continue implementing bad policies. Ruto can also say, I am tired. Let the military generals take over. Then the country begins to go through what Egypt went through after Tahrir Square. Ruto must go cannot be an end. This is the statement of Raila Odinga's opposition leader. So apparently he's kind of supporting William Ruto. So maybe, Raila Odinga is running for AU chairperson in the upcoming election in the beginning of 2025. And of course, for that, your head of state, let me tell you, because I know that very well. First of all, when you submit your application to run for the chairperson position, the first thing is your head of state has to endorse you. So Ruto has endorsed him. And that's why Raila Odinga is going around in neighboring countries and gathering support. And I think he has many of the Eastern African countries support, except Somalia and Djibouti, who have, their own representatives who wants to run for the position. But Odinga has the support, and he's endorsed by William Ruto. So he don't want to lose that. Are you serious? He don't want to lose that. So now he has to advise the people, Ruto must go is not the solution. I mean, he might be right. Me, I'm very much concerned that this revolution is hijacked. So, I mean, the Kenyans, you can see now, if you are really following on a daily basis, everyday people on the street, who come and talk and lead and give this, look for the media attention and give interview on the street. They are different. So there is some kind of thing going on. It has that genuine start, how it started, but now everybody is trying to hijack it. So hopefully Kenyans take a note on this one. So what do you think should be now the next action for William Ruto? And where do you think U.S. Embassy is now, after hearing the statement, where do you think the U.S. is going with this, do you think they are preparing someone behind the scenes? That's what they always do, and we get surprised. Oh, okay, you think it's another revolutionary leader. This ends up with all their rhetorics, but then you see them repeating all the status quo that what they have removed. The same like what Diomaye Faye is doing. We thought it's like all Pan-African and will join the Sahel states, but no, like he's doing what Macky Sall have been doing. He doesn't even want to break away with France. Just let us know in the comment section, what do you think should be the next action, whether it's by the protesters or the President William Ruto. So a quick shout out to Child of God. They always have plan B and plan C if a plan. Exactly. The Juma, hello. It's actually insulting to the intelligence of Gen Z that some white entities are telling them of their own oppression. Interesting view, true. Mr. Ruto is using Western racist talking points. Kenyan Douglas Wamburu, hello. Kenyan watching from London. I'm happy to see Ethiopians commenting on Kenyan politics. I mean, we really, how Ruto came to power, and Ethiopia was, I think, the first country regionally that he visited. And we all expected him to do a lot, so that's why we are watching. That's why it gets us talking, because we saw, like, step by step the development. We are Pan-Africans here, all for one, one for all. Yeah, I'm from the United States and I know how. Yeah, exactly. Robert Amoko, hello, welcome. Genzi's Okia is right. Each time Kenya moves forward, Raila pulls Kenya backward. I can't. I can't on this one. Raila is a colonial puppet for decades. Yeah. Peace and blessings, sister and family. Ruto must go. Okay, the Imhotep is letting us know what should be done. Child of God saying, they are known for co-opting. They are probably negotiating. Exactly. This is what there, as we speak, even there is an ongoing talk. You know, if plan A fails, plan B, okay, we're gonna bring another one. We're gonna bring like an icon of a Gen Z protester and give them a leader. All of a sudden, you will see him appearing on the street and talking, giving interview. He's a representative anointed by the US, and then later on you will see him. For now, they will stay behind the scene. Anyway, guys, 26 minutes, that's a lot. Yeah, just to bring a breaking news and go in detail. Thanks again for being here, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you find it informative enough. Share the video with others, and please support us on our PayPal account. You can find it in the description section. You can also support us through Super Chat. It has, I'm sure. Yeah. So that's it for now, and I'll see you on the next one. We have an important, another upcoming breaking news. Ciao, ciao for now.